Welcome back to Keystyle Media Podcast. I'm your host, Yev Z. In this episode, I'll be discussing why I love personal projects.
Welcome to a brand new episode. Keystyle Media Podcast with Yev Z.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Keystyle Media Podcast. My name is Yev, Las Vegas-based product commercial and brand photographer. Welcome to a new episode where I'll be discussing why I love personal projects. Before we begin, as always, I just want to take a quick moment and thank to everyone who is listening, who's tuning in, who's supporting my podcast. I'm truly grateful to each one of you. The reason why I decided to jump in and discuss personal projects, because there are many reasons why I love them, but I'm just going to discuss very few reasons that really matter to me and why I continuously pursue personal projects. One of the main reasons why I love personal projects, there are no deadlines. Most of you that are in the industry that do deal with clients, especially with anything that has to do with branding, product, or any portrait photography, or even weddings, there is always a deadline that we want to meet or client has to meet in order for the images to be released. Because if it's a product photography, potentially it's a brand new product that has to be online on a certain release date. Or if it's a branding photography for like a coach that is releasing a new course, they need those images on a specific date to make sure everything is prepped for that release. And the list goes on. So with the personal projects, what I usually do is I don't put any deadlines other than specific time when I would like for the project to be complete in terms of the actual session, in terms of the editing and so on. So what it does for me as a creative, it releases a lot of pressure on delivering this particular project to models or creative director or anyone that is involved, and it allows me to kind of perfect it. And that's one of the reasons why I really, really love personal projects, because, there are no deadlines and it's, I go with the flow. The second main reason why I really love personal projects, I think, would be freedom to create. What I mean by freedom to create is most of the time, once again, in the industry that I'm in, there's usually a mood board that's provided by client. For example, coach or someone that's in the industry of marketing industry or coaching industry, they usually have color palettes. They usually have, branding props that they want to make sure they use to match their look, to match the brand and match everything they have done prior to shooting with me. Or for example, if there is a product that we shoot, that product has to match lighting, has to match everything that this company has already produced prior to that. And it's not that there is not creative freedom to create. There is definitely freedom to create, because I do want to add my flair to whatever I'm creating. However, it limits to what I can do, and it limits the boundaries that I can push. With freedom to create, when I create my personal projects, I am free to do whatever I want, as long as I disclose to everyone who is involved in the project that I am creating. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're just going to go ahead and create, just to have a, kind of relieve pressure from me and the crew to, get those images to everyone who's involved. And with the freedom to create, we can create anytime, anywhere, and whatever we want. And we want to, and if I want to involve anyone, like director, maybe a designer or stylist, hair, makeup, whatever, we can involve whoever we want, because that's where the freedom to create comes. It's not just creating whatever we want, but also as a community use whoever we want to create whatever art piece we want. And, piggyback of freedom to create, I believe the next really important kind of reason why I love to create is the freedom to experiment. And the freedom to create and freedom to experiment kind of coexist together. The reason why is because experimenting is something that I love to do. Experimenting with lights, experimenting with gels, maybe continuous lights versus flashes, experimenting with paint, experimenting with nude makeup or maybe hair, or using stylists that I've never used before who has this amazing vision or amazing style that I want to kind of experiment and see what I can create. And the list goes on. But the freedom to experiment also allows me as a creative kind of have freedom to do whatever I want as a team. And when I do involve people in my projects, especially experimental projects, we are free to collaborate together to make this project work the best. Because when we try in something that has never been done before, at least by me or by my team, then it is definitely an experimental project, and we're going to do our best to make it work. And the freedom from that is, once again, if I let everyone know that we are experimenting, this may work, but it may not, to where, nobody's expecting or nobody is going to be upset if something didn't work. Because at the end of the day, we as a group got together, we created something, or at least tried to create, but at the end of the day, we had fun and we enjoyed each other's company, and we were on a set doing something productive. The main reason probably that I can't stress enough to everyone out there that the personal projects open new doors with new clients, with new jobs and new opportunities to create something bigger, better, with bigger and better brands. And I always encourage, especially those that are new to industry, to experiment and do personal projects, because personal projects allow us to be ourselves, to create whatever we want. And once again, a lot of times, personal projects bring new clients that want to either the same vision that you just show them or similar to what you're posting as a personal project. And, with experimenting, freedom to create, and involving team and involving everyone in your community that you want to involve, always spreads love, positivity, and allows people to, feel as a community. And from my experience, working, doing personal projects, not only it allows me to kind of escape, the industry and clients and escape, deadlines. It allows me to go out there and just create. Because I remember when I started photography, over 10 years ago, it was amazing to just go out and just photograph wherever I want, when I want to, without, satisfying anyone on the other end who's waiting for the images. The only person or the only human that I need to satisfy is myself, to make sure that I did capture the image that I wanted to capture from whatever it is that I am trying to capture, and that's the beauty in personal projects, especially for everyone that is hardworking artist, photographer, painter, videographer, whatever hardworking art that you do is. I would encourage you to stop for some time, put the work down, and just do some personal projects, because at the end of the day, you will have fun. At the end of the day, the other projects will be done in time they need to be done. But I want to encourage you to create personal projects simply to escape your day-to-day job. And, it will allow you not only to feel that freedom again, but it also will inspire you to maybe implement something that you're learning through personal projects to your projects that you currently work in, which will elevate the work that you've been doing. So, with this new episode, I just want to kind of share a couple things why I love personal projects, because I'm never going to stop with personal projects. I want to encourage every artist out there to go out and continue to create personal projects, whether they're small, big, whatever. Just go out and create something that you love, something that your heart desires. And at the end, let's just have fun. Let's create, never stop creating. And with that, until next time.
Thanks for listening to the Keystar Media Podcast.